What's up, guys? Invader1 here again, and I'm back! Alright, this time with a gun review, and this one is a very, very controversial one. And, well, for those of you guys who have been playing the game since it first came out, and since some of these guns were introduced, actually since the KRYSAE was introduced, there's a little love and hate for this gun. And the reason why, I'm going to go into the reasons, and I'm actually going to go into quite a bit of detail about this gun because I really want this review to be as accurate as possible, and at the same time I want you guys to get the most out of this weapon. And I want you guys to really see in this gameplay what this weapon can do. So I really wanted to go into this gun because this gun has been kind of forgotten for a lot of the quote-unquote pros of this game. No longer touch this gun anymore. This gun is rarely seen. It's seen maybe here and there on silver, maybe here and there, rarely, because back in the day when the gun first came out, it was really overpowered. The gun was so beast. The gun was ridiculously powerful that it really ruined this game for a lot of people. And the developers look at the game statistics, they look at the gun data, they look at, what players are using all the time, and, what guns are constantly being used all the time. They're not just looking at people's videos and say, oh, well, these people could do that with the gun, look at this video, whatever, let's just nerf it. They actually, there's a lot of data behind this. You could actually read and see, well, most people are using this gun, most people are using that one, some people are using another one. So when this gun first came out, first of all, everybody loved it immediately. People just could not believe how powerful it was. It was just ridiculously powerful, and I'm actually going to give you actual numbers. I'm going to give you detailed numbers of the power of this gun when it first came out, some of the changes that happened to this gun, and how you can play it now. As you can see, I'm having a great time with this gun right now. And I kind of missed playing with this gun. I'm going to be honest with you. I used to use it here and there quite a bit when it first came out. I didn't use it as a crutch. I didn't play it often. And as a matter of fact, I have to admit, at that time, I think I was a little bit of a scrub elitist at the time. Not really, but I didn't want to use this gun too much because I didn't want it to become a crutch for me. Because what happened with this gun at the time is that this was really one of those weapons that's like that was kind of like a one-hit kill wonder, kind of thing. It would destroy everything. Hang on. And then you're thinking, as I'm talking here, you look at this gameplay and you're like, but wait a second, isn't that what you're doing now? So you're like, well, yeah, in the gameplay, this is why I really wanted to go through this gun, because some people have kind of like forgotten about this gun. And some people have, like really just given up on it because of the nerfs, and some people, when they get it, they don't really care for it anymore. They don't know how to use it, don't know how to play with it, and it's like, what's going on? They get bored with it or get frustrated with it. The thing is, guys, that this gun, even after its nerf, it is not the god that it used to be. But this gun, as you're watching in this gameplay, is still really, really absolutely awesome. Now, and that sounds like, oh, well, Invader, you're biased, you like everything. I'm like, no. As you guys have seen from some of my reviews in the past, there's certain guns that I'm just not a big fan of. I will try to make them work, though. That's the difference. A lot of times when I do a review or I do something, I may say I don't always say that I don't like something immediately, because the way I think about things is I say, well, there must have been some thought behind this. Like when the developers went and created this gun, or any gun in this weapon, there must have been something behind it. Somebody sat down on a desk, somebody designed it and said, well, this gun is going to do this, and it's going to be very powerful, and it's going to have this kind of effect on headshots, or this kind of effect on enemies, or whatever. So instead of me just saying, well, this gun sucks like major ass, I think, well, let me see how I can make it work. Let me see what is behind this weapon. Let me look at the details. Let me look at some of the information. Let me try it out with different kits. Let me work with it and see how I can make it work. And then when I find a kit that makes it work, then all of a sudden it's like, whoa, you're in a game and people are asking you questions. They're like, well, wait a second, what's going on here? Like, well, what's up with that? And You know, and that's just the thing. This is one of those weapons that, matter of fact, this is just so you guys know, this is a pug game. I decided to some of these weapons reviews, like I've been doing before. I'm doing them in pug games, getting to meet some new people, but at the same time, kind of taking, not depending on my team or a group of people that I know, so that I could actually take full use of the gun, and at the same time I have some of the challenges that will be using this gun as well on Platinum, so you will be able to see some of the Platinum gameplay with the team, and you'll see that the gun even more, even more of its use. But I believe that this gameplay is really good to represent the post-nerfed KRYSAE. So let's talk about the KRYSAE. First of all, it is a terrain weapon. And it was introduced last year, as that was introduced in 2012. And when the gun first came out, like I was saying before, it was really overpowered. I have to be honest, I will be very real. The gun was very, very overpowered. And the gun was used in a lot of games. I mean, if you look at a lot of the videos in the past, there were a lot of people like to use this this gun with the Geth Infiltrator, because it was extremely overpowered with the Geth Infiltrator. And there were actual speed runs that were done with not even missiles, just with 4 Geth Infiltrators with this gun, just absolutely destroying gold, absolutely destroying everything. So it was overpowered. Definitely the gun needed some changes, and then there were some changes done. Now, I'm actually, when looking at some of the balance changes that happened around sometime June last year, I believe around June 12th, they reduced the damage from 531 to 476. So they reduced the damage quite significantly. But even looking at that damage, and I remember this, guys, because I've been playing this game since it came out, and I gotta tell you, I remember all these changes. I played them. I was there, and they reduced the damage, but it was still very powerful. If every shot is 476, and that's okay. So let me break it down. Actually, it's 531.2 at level 1, and then at level 10, each shot was 664 damage. So in other words, like 2 or 3 shots, just pretty much destroyed everything. You could go into a spawn and just destroy everything. You could kill a whole bunch of husks, a whole bunch of troopers, destroy phantoms with 2 shots, maximum 3. And just totally annihilate everything. Then they reduced the damage to 476 at level 1 and 595 at level 10. So you look at it, 595, it's still, it's still really beast. It's still a beast of a gun. Yeah, it went down almost 70 damage, but the gun was still the same gun. The rate of fire did not change. The damage was the only thing that was decreased. So the rate of fire, you guys see me shoot here, you see how slow it is. It was not like that. This gun was shooting fast. Every shot was boom, boom, boom. It was so fast that you could destroy spawns pretty quickly with the gun, especially if you had incendiary ammo or whatever ammo you had, and you would just annihilate everything. So the developers had to go back and just look at this and everything, and then the next update that happened, that's when the gun just really got really got owned. That's when a lot of people just stopped using the weapon. A lot of people were crying out about the gun, but in all honesty, the gun did need a nerf. What happened to it is that they decreased the damage from 476 at level 1 and 595 at level 10. They decreased it to 429 at level 1 and 548 at level 10. So that happened like literally the month after. That was in July 14th. So then all of a sudden, the gun was reduced, the damage was decreased, and a lot of people were crying about it. I remember looking in the forums, people were like, "Oh no, why did they do it to this gun?" But that wasn't even the problem. The damage reduction, most people don't really have a problem with damage reduction. The problem is the rate of fire was decreased. Now that's a significant difference. It got decreased from 50 to 35. So now, if you look at my gameplay and you compare it with some of the gameplay from back in the day, videos on YouTube for the KRYSAE sniper rifle, you would notice that they're shooting so fast that they're just destroying everything so fast. and that's because the damage was amazing. It was just ridiculous. Now, and the rate of fire really it was what made it. But let's go even further. It wasn't just the rate of fire. Not only the rate of fire, now the recoil increased from 5 to 10. So they literally doubled the recoil on this gun. So what that means that this gun kicks like a mule after every shot. I mean, it's just forget it. It just kicks. You know, if you have it on a character like a Turian, of course, because you know this is a Turian weapon, then you know you have some stability. But after every shot, it kicks like a mule, and that's if you're that's if you're not zoomed in. Like if you're just shooting from the hip, that thing just bounces all the way up. The moment you shoot, all of a sudden you see your scope just like go, your crosshair just go all the way up to like the top. It's ridiculous. The zoom recoil increased as well. It went from 3 to 5, didn't go that high. So that's why when you see me zoom in, I'm not zooming in because I need to, because you can actually shoot this gun without being zoomed in and still have the damage. Most sniper rifles suffer from hip fire penalties, but this one doesn't. So you know you could actually shoot from the hip fire, but the thing is that when you do that, this gun will kick all the way up, and it just really messes you up when you're really trying to focus on a target. So the zoom recoil increased, but it's not too bad. As you can see here, it's really not bad at all. It really isn't. And the ammo dropped, guys. The ammo dropped at max. When you get it at level 10, you know, it had 21 shots. It dropped to 18, which is not a big deal. It really isn't a big deal. So that's when the gun really just it got really destroyed. I mean, and let me rephrase that. It got destroyed for those who loved it the way it was, and for those who really didn't care, weren't in the game at the time or weren't really, you know, doing anything with it. You know, they were just like, okay, whatever. But there were a lot of people who actually appreciated that nerf, only because it was ruining games for a lot of other people. There are times you go into the game, and you know, I would go into pug lobbies, and everybody had the KRYSAE. It was like, you know, it was like the gun that everybody just defaulted to. It just destroyed everything, and that was it. So, and there were a few other things that happened with it as well. On October 16th, like months later, they did actually a good thing with this gun. They made it so it fires instantly. Sometimes you had to kind of squeeze it. You had to hold the fire button to zoom in. So you would every time you pull the trigger, it zoomed in automatically. That was a problem. So right now you don't have to zoom in to really shoot. So what it would do, it would zoom in twice. Actually, that's the way it was. If I remember it correctly, it would have 2 zooms. So when you hold the trigger, it would like zoom twice. It was actually a pretty decent zoom, but it was annoying. It just did not. It did not work right on multiplayer. It was not a good thing. So they took that out. So that was okay. And you know, they mostly did that to fix the missile launcher. You know, the missile glitch. At that point in time, some people were using this gun because it had a charge mechanism. They were using it for to the missile glitch, which is a cheat. Which, you know, I really don't condone, guys. Don't do it. Don't do it. So that's what happened with that gun. Now, but you see, something else happened. Okay, and a lot of people don't. Some people forget about this because the gun after that nerf that happened in July, a lot of people just gave up on the gun. They trashed it. They're just like, oh my god, the recoil, the recoil is ridiculous. The reload takes forever. The gun is stupid. It is no good anymore. So this gun pretty much became total trash for a lot of people, for a lot of quote-unquote pro players, quote-unquote good players, quote-unquote, you know, high-scoring players. But if you're looking at this gameplay and see what I'm doing here, this gun is still really great. Now, the nerf that they did on the gun was, you know, it was very noticeable. It was really a big nerf. It was definitely a big nerf. Don't get me wrong. This gun drastically changed. It really changed. It was very, very powerful. It definitely was overpowered. I will be honest with that. I will not say, oh man, I wish the gun was like the way it was. No. The gun didn't need a nerf. but a lot of people felt like it didn't need to be nerfed this badly. Like they still wanted the gun to be one of those, all-powerful guns that they just, kind of backtrack to. But, something did happen, and a lot of people forget, even after that nerf, that there was a buff. Aha, that's right. So there was a buff later. So right now, if you have this gun at level 10, alright, they increased the damage from 429 at level 1 and 548 at level 10 to 493 at level 1 and 616 at level 10. So, okay, so let's look at this in the sense of damage. Mind you, the rate of fire is the same, the recoil is the same, everything else is the same, nothing has changed. But the damage was increased. So the damage increased to, at level 10, 616, and when this gun came out, the damage was 664. So that's not a big difference. Yeah, there is quite a difference, don't get me wrong, but it's still really close to, it's 616.8 damage. So if you're using it on a character, especially an infiltrator, this is what I'm doing here, guys. If you're using an infiltrator and you get a tactical cloak bonus of 80%, and you add it to this gun and you shoot, you're destroying what you're going to shoot at. It's going to get destroyed. Alright? Now, and what I recommend with this gun, guys, is to use it as certain characters. Like, there's certain characters that really get certain benefits from it. If you don't like the recoil, then use it on a Turian. You use it on the Turian Ghost. Use it on the Turian Ghost, and you get the tactical cloak bonus of 80%. Drop it on him. You have overload to strip shields, and just drop a shot with this gun with your tactical cloak, and everything would just get destroyed. So that's a good thing. That's one way to use it. Go use it on infiltrators. Use it on them. Now the other thing is our soldiers. Great thing to use it on the destroyer soldier. Not only is it stable, but you get an additional shot with the destroyer if you set up devastator mode appropriately, and at the same time you have stagger from the Hawk missiles, and this gun itself would destroy. Now, a great thing about this gun that I will say, it's not just the damage. So the damage, guys, the damage was increased again, and it is really close to the way it was in the beginning. That's what a lot of people forget about this gun. But it's also a great thing about this weapon is that it staggers enemies. Alright, so Phantoms, done. Phantoms, you're afraid of Phantoms? Guess what? This is the only gun you need. You don't need anything else. You like to do tech bursts? Well, I'm doing that in this game. You drop some good, disruptor ammo. Drop disruptor rounds 3, which I have in this game, or disruptor rounds 4. Do some tech bursts by shooting at the enemy and then using something like a proxy mine or a power to detonate it. So in this instance, I'm using proxy mine to detonate some tech bursts. You want to do fire explosions. This gun applies the ammo effect literally with the first shot. So the moment you shoot the enemy first, you could just go right ahead and do the proxy mine or whatever, or the power, and do a tech burst. Okay? And, or do a fire explosion. So that's a great thing about this gun, that it does so much damage that it applies ammo types really, really well. So that's a great thing. It staggers Phantom, it staggers enemies, it staggers mooks, and it does a great, excellent job with it. So this gun is still very viable. It's still a lot of fun. It's a little slow when it comes to each shot. You get the 3 shots, but that's fine. That's fine if you manage your shots appropriately. You focus on one enemy, then you go back and forth, and you're good. So that's another thing. Now, armor piercing. This gun does not have armor piercing capabilities. So don't put armor piercing ammo on it. It's a waste, okay? Don't do it, guys. Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't go into a match putting armor piercing rounds unless you just want the damage bonus. And even then, if you want a damage bonus, forget the armor piercing. You're using the wrong ammo type. You should be using warp rounds. Warp rounds will increase the ammo, okay? Will increase the damage. So don't use armor piercing rounds. The mods, don't use any armor piercing mods. You do not need. Alright, as a matter of fact, I'm gonna go through it. You're not gonna need a sniper rifle piercing mod. It does not go through it does not go through light cover. Does not go through walls. It's never gonna happen. You're pretty much shooting a grenade. Alright, that's kind of like a grenade burst. That's what you're shooting from this gun. So you should not be using the sniper rifle piercing mod. You should not be using the sniper rifle high velocity barrel, which is the heavy one. You should not be using it. Don't use it. Alright, the only time you'll need to put the high velocity barrel is if you don't have the extended barrel, which gives you the 25% damage bonus. And then you're using the high velocity barrel just to, you know, just to get that 25% damage bonus. That's it, but you don't need it, alright? The only mods that you really need, don't get me wrong, the sniper rifle thermal scope is good, especially when you play against Cerberus. They got all this smoke all over the place. You can use that, that's fine. The enhanced scope, you don't need it. This is a sniper rifle. You don't need to increase your zoom so much. Its zoom is already, as you can see, it's really freaking good. But the only mods that you really need in this gun, the only ones, and this is, you could go throughout the entire game, Mass Effect 3 career, playing Mass Effect 3 forever, and this is all you need for this gun, will be the spare thermal clip. So you increase your spare shots, you get a lot of ammo, get a lot of rounds. And then the sniper rifle extended barrel, because it increases the damage by 25%. And when you do that, it gets the bar really close to full. You get just a quarter, and not even less than a quarter that of the damage bar that is not full. So the damage is insane. And if you use it on a character like this, you use it on infiltrators, or you use it on soldiers, and you got other powers, and you use ammo to detonate different kinds of explosion. You use cryo. Oh my god. With one shot, you will freeze any enemy. Go into a spawn and shoot a whole bunch of Cerberus troopers with cryo ammo with this. They're frozen. Alright? Or husks, or possessed abominations. They'll be destroyed. And then you get staggered. You keep the enemies away from you. So guys, this gun is still a beast of a weapon, and in all honesty, I think that this gun should, you know, get some love and some praise, because after the nerf, people have literally shelved this gun, and I have to be honest, I was one of those guys. Although I wasn't really playing it as much, but still, I was like, oh, well, you know, this gun is no longer good, it takes too long, but I've taken out time for it, looked at the stats, looked at the data, played with it, taking my time to really make it work, and guess what, guys, this gun is absolutely still actually really good. So as you can see from this gameplay, and this is just random people, I don't know them, we actually started communicating towards the end, people put their mics on, which was really cool. This gun is still a beast, especially against enemies like Cerberus. I could imagine even against collectors, this gun must be absolutely amazing. The only thing is that, guys, you know, when you're fighting against armor targets like Atlases, well, it's going to take quite a bit. It's going to take quite a bit. So that's why I prefer disruptor rounds on this gun. Because like that, if I'm fighting an Atlas, at least its shields stay down for 8 seconds because the ammo type is applied. And that's pretty much why I use disruptor rounds and do tech bursts. So the only time that you're really going to have trouble is with armor targets, guardians, and as you saw here, I had some guardians. That's why I'm glad I got Cerberus in this pug game. It was unknown, and you could just shoot at the side of the guardian, or at the feet, or even by the top of their head, and still get them. So yeah, guys, this is the KRYSAE sniper rifle. There'll be more gameplay with it, and I hope you guys enjoyed this. And please comment, rate, and subscribe, and let me know if you guys want to see anything else. Take care, guys, and Invader 1 out.